music. And I still haven't counted out, the opportunity because I feel like, why not? If you have a talent, why not utilize it? But right now I'm trying to stay focused so I'm not all over the place and not able to master, at least one thing. So, but no, I appreciate that. I definitely have considered it before and still want to pursue it eventually.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason, every time.
Maybe when I'm like 45 with white hair and I can't rap anymore,
All right, now I'm close. I'm close to that age now. Calm down with the 45 jokes.
I'm just saying, man. I hope I won't catch you out here doing outreach events, rapping and stuff. Hopefully not.
Nah. I put the mic down. I'll let y'all go ahead and take over that. I'm happy where I'm at. Now, Now, a great question. Well, a question that I had for you. Okay. 2016 started off very fast for you. Basically, people followed your career and they looked at what you were doing, in midway in 2015. 2016, a lot of things happened. One, you were nominated, the freshman 2016 for Rapzilla. So a question is, how were you told? Did you already know this, or did somebody actually call you up and say, "Hey, bro, did you know that you were nominated?" How did that happen?
Well, David Daniels, who was a writer for Rapzilla, actually emailed me. Sometimes he'll do like little articles where he'll say, we have 25 rappers who tell what the Christmas gift they always wanted but never got was, or favorite Thanksgiving food. So he just does random articles, and sometimes he'll email me and ask me for my input. So he emailed me one day, and he just asked me a couple questions, and I figured, he's doing another, silly article so they can get some clicks. and I was like, cool with me, and it's more exposure. I mean, that's fine. But actually, a couple of days later, they ended up dropping the first part of the freshman list, and that's when he direct messaged me and told me. He was like, this is actually what that article was about, and I'm going to be releasing your name on Thursday, but try not to say anything. And I was it was an honor, man, because, it's easy to take stuff like that for granted, but I remember when I was watching Rapzilla interviews and watching Rapzilla freshmen and just seeing how, I was just one day like, I'm going to be there. And, when you get there, it's easy to take it for granted, but I definitely am I'm very appreciative, man, that they consider me, because there was a lot of people who didn't make it. And, so I was thankful that they considered me to be worthy to be on there, man, because, I mean, it's just a blessing, man, when you come from, from where I come from, and it's just the odds of being able to do something like that, it's just God. It's just God, man.
Yeah, because you're in great company. Definitely, I had a chance to speak with Brother 3 last year, on the show and everything. So I definitely would say you're in great company. That's when I saw the list, I was like, wow, okay, fantastic, great, man. Now, also within 2016, you signed on with a major management label with your brother, your friend, your compadre, Noah. So let me know, how did that all come about?
Well, it started at the beginning. Actually, right after I put Cloud9 Raps, it was February 5th, I got an email from Chris Chicago, who was formerly on Jam the Hype, the owner of Jam the Hype. And he emailed me, and it was funny because he had just heard my song. We were just talking about this, I think, yesterday. He'd heard my song, Lost in the Wild, on Rapzilla. And he wanted to play it on his show. And he was just calling me to find out how to say my last name correctly, wanted a little more info about me. And God was tugging at his heart to ask what was going on with me for management. And so, long story short, that same night, I'm driving up to Nashville from Memphis just to meet with Chris. And what ended up happening was we just decided on the spot, like, I want you to be my manager. And so what ended up happening was he went to Winter Jam, I guess it was maybe a couple weeks later, and he was having a conversation with these guys, this one guy from First Company Management who manages the Newsboys and all this, and he was telling them what he's getting into, and he's starting to want to manage hip-hop artists and this and that. And the head guy at the company, or second in charge, but really the head guy who's the day-to-day manager for Newsboys, overheard them talking. And, just to make a long story short, I mean, it was just God, man. Like, everything has been ordained by God. And
Amen.
they ended up linking up and starting a hip-hop division called Level Change, which Chris Chicago leads. And the first two artists he signed was me and Young Noah and I. My mom would get on my head if she heard me say me and Young Noah. So let me fix that now. And obviously since then it's just been incredible. Like, Noah's about to go on tour with the Newsboys. He's got a single that just charted on Billboard Christian Radio for the first time yesterday. I just had the top download on Rapzilla. So all this is new. This is all new stuff, and it's a blessing to see how God's moving, man. And with all the stuff that's going on in Christian hip hop, with people renouncing the faith and people, with all the turmoil that's happening, I feel like God is bringing people even more closer and more together and moving even more mightily in the midst of that. He's using that.
Right.
All things work together for good, even when someone leaves the faith and everybody's worried because people are looking up to them. Now, that's just going to bring us closer. That's going to make the real one stronger. You see what I'm saying?
Amen.
So,
Amen.
So I'm definitely excited about what God's doing through Level Change. It's changed my life, but it's still only the beginning stages. So I'm looking forward to see what happens from here on out.
Right. Man, that's great. Now, to piggyback off of that question, basically, and I do want to go back to the thing with a lot of artists leaving the faith, but to piggyback onto that question, what made you decide to go ahead and deal with the management company instead of going straight to a label?
Right. Well, as far as management goes, for one, they don't take as much money from you, and they don't take as much of your soul. So you only have to give a small piece of your soul instead of most of it. No, I'm just kidding, man. No, really, honestly, I was just, it was a great opportunity that there was no way I could turn down, honestly, whether it was a label or a management. So I decided, I want to, because what can happen is now that I have great management, now that we're in talks with labels, they can handle all that. They can do all the legal stuff, and they can negotiate, and I don't have to be the one who gets lowballed and who gets taken advantage of, you know what I'm saying? So it's a great thing to have management when you're searching or labels are searching for you, because you can just be the artist, and the management does all the business work. So it's a huge blessing, absolutely.
Amen. All right. Now, this is more so of a statement or whatever. I just want you to pretty much, if you can, piggyback off of it, is that now, since since we have had some artists leaving the faith and going elsewhere or doing whatever they feel like, they're supposed to be doing or whatever, but a lot of people are talking about it, I can't believe this and blah, 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 things of that nature. Now, do you think that a lot of people are putting too much emphasis on the artist and not so much emphasis on, believing and trusting in God? Just like when you're going to church, you don't want to put too much, compassion or whatever on the preacher other than what the preacher is speaking
on. Absolutely. I mean, Christian hip hop is an idol. When you get down to the nitty gritty and you want to talk about just like ministry, I take that back. It's not an idol. It can be an idol, just like ministry can be an idol. Was more so what I was getting at. The very thing that you're doing for God can become your idol. It can become your God. And I think that's what happens a lot of times. I was looking at something the other day, like Andy Mineo was at a show and this kid had like all Andy Mineo stuff just tatted up and down his body, and I was just like, what in the world? Like I get it, but I'm just like, it's kind of it's discouraging to see that people are so compelled and so focused on these artists when these artists are nobodies but sinners who deserve the wrath of God, but only by his love and grace has been changed and saved. So it's like definitely, and I think, and I've done it too. I mean, I don't want to put the blame on people, but, it's just easy. It's easy to stray away. Just like I was talking with my friend the other day, in the story of Moses and Aaron, as far as when Moses went up on the mountain and that, they built that golden calf.
Right.
What a lot of people don't know is the golden calf was meant to represent God, Elohim, Jehovah God, not a false God. They wanted something that they could see. They didn't want to worship something they could see, so they built this strong-looking gold. A calf is a strong animal, and they wanted it to represent God. But, it wasn't God. That's like if people want to send a letter to Ty Brasel, but they send it to Canada somewhere, and they're just like, well, I hope it ends up at his door somehow. And, the biggest thing is that God uses it all. God uses the evil. God uses the bad, and he brings it all back around home for his glory, man. But definitely people focus too much on the artist, and the artists focus too much on trying to get to this platform, and, they get so caught up in the Christian hip-hop God, in the success of being a major Christian hip-hop artist, and it can suck you in, man, real quickly. So, even I have to be just super conscious and intentional about straying from that, because it can ruin your soul, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
As we're seeing examples of. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Okay, I want to jump into a new segment that we started probably about a week ago or so. It's called From the Artist. And I asked a couple of artists, did they have questions for you? So they sent me some questions, so I'm going to go ahead and ask you what they sent me, okay?
Okay,
all right.
Cool.
The first artist, his name is Kid Got It. He's from South Carolina, well, the Alabama area over there. So his question was, what's some advice for building a fan base, and how do you market, or do you have a team for marketing?
Well, that's a great question. It's a very important question. I think first and foremost, you have to realize that, and a lot of people don't really understand this concept, and so, but I honestly believe it's the most important concept, not if you're just trying to be an artist, but if you're trying to build anything, a business, anything. It takes money to make money. You have to invest in yourself, in your craft. If you're going to do this full out and you really want to pursue this, you're going to go years without seeing returns. You're going to have to spend lots of money, and a lot of people don't want to hear that, because a lot of people would rather take the easy way out. But you have to spend money to get nice quality music. You have to spend money to get your music up on sites and platforms that can help promote you. You have to spend money on videos. You have to spend money on marketing. You have to spend money on clothes, because you can't go in a music video with sweatpants and a white T-shirt on. I mean, you can, but I mean, there's just so many things. You just have to make that sacrifice if you really want to pursue it, and that's not just with music, but that's with anything. So as far as building a fan base, first and foremost, you have to spend money. You have to invest yourself. You have to make sacrifices. And if you put out good quality music, people will share it. People will spread it. You know what I'm saying? People will like it, and they will share it with their friends, and word of mouth is the greatest promotion and the greatest way to build a fan base. And as far as marketing teams, it always helps to have people who are invested in your vision, but you can never depend too much on a person, because, a lot of people have dreams of their own, they have desires of their own, and they can get tired of trying to promote yours. So you can never put too much weight on people to help you get your dream out. But if you do have someone who is just completely believes in you, completely has faith in what God has given for you to do, then it's definitely smart to have other people who help you out and to build up a team. Sometimes it just doesn't work that way, though, and you have to just trust God. Like, okay, nobody is helping me, but I know God is with me.